Ladies and gentlemen, what does the Supreme Court say about political speech, protected speech? The Supreme Court has recognized that the First Amendment protections extend to individual and collective speech, quote, in pursuit of a wide variety of political, social, economic, educational, religious, and cultural ends. Roberts versus USJCs, 1984. Okay. That's one ruling. That's one Supreme Court ruling. Another Supreme Court ruling is PolitiFact. I'll read you this. The majority ruling in the 1980 Supreme Court case Department of Navy versus Egan, which addressed the legal recourse of a Navy employee who had been denied security clearance, addresses line of authority. Quote, the president, after all, is the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States. According to Article 2 of the Constitution, the court's majority wrote, his authority, quote, his authority to classify and control access to information bearing on national security flows primarily from this constitutional investment of power in the president and exists quite apart from any explicit congressional grant. That is a PolitiFact article regarding a statement that is mostly true, according to PolitiFact. Quote, the minute the president speaks about it to someone, he has the ability to declassify anything at any time without any process. This, of course, was a 2017 article in PolitiFact, long before the Mar-a-Lago raid. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Supreme Court is making it very difficult, impossible really, to prosecute Trump. It is impossible to prosecute Trump with these Supreme Court rulings. He's protected. His speech is protected. And there are a lot of other Supreme Court rulings that protect speech, okay? His speech is protected. He did not compel. He did not tell anyone. He did not motivate anyone to commit criminal acts. Democrats made even more egregious, statements that could have led to people that summer helping commit $1 to $2 billion in property damage. Now, that's according to Wikipedia. Do I agree with why people, do I support why people demonstrated peacefully? Yes, that summer, okay? But you had 14,000 arrests. Democrats don't care and 19 lives lost. Democrats and media and wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberals, they don't care about property damage. They don't. There were government buildings being, demonstrators that weren't peaceful were going after government buildings also. Okay, even in D.C., all throughout the summer, not one word from Kinzinger or Cheney or Democrats. They went after Trump. Then you had classified data flowing outside of flowing outside of the United States government onto private servers. Okay? Hillary Clinton, private servers. I think she'll be the nominee in 24 for Democrats, but I always say that. But how do you siphon top secret and special access program intelligence outside the U.S. government onto servers? Nobody knows. But if you watch the short on this channel, it's 27,000 views. The Honorable James Comey said no reasonable prosecutor would indict, but it's an example of laws being broken, mishandling classified data. Laws were broken, but no reasonable prosecutor. Those are his words, not mine. You can watch the short on this channel. But hit subscribe right now, ladies and gentlemen. Be here every morning at 8 a.m. From here on out. Years and years and years, I'm going to do forever. 8 a.m. segment Pacific time on this channel. I'll do obviously segments throughout the day, but just be here for the 8 a.m. Pacific segment. Set your dial. If you have breakfast, whatever, just expect a YouTube video on H.A. Goodman every 8 a.m. Pacific time, every day at 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to support my work long term, my Patreon is below. Your Patreon support is greatly appreciated. It's in the description section. And just hit subscribe. Go to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll be doing segments there. I should have a segment in about an hour on there as well. That's in the description section also. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to indict Trump. Okay? He's not going to serve jail time. They're not going to indict him. Now, they could indict him. They're not going to indict him in the near future. Let's just say, if they do indict him, they get DeSantis. DeSantis is actually a better politician, and I like DeSantis a lot. Obviously, he's being pushed by a lot of people who believe that he's different from Trump. I don't think he's that different from Trump at all. In fact, the reason people love DeSantis is because he's just like Trump. But he's actually a better politician. So, in many ways. Or I should say, maybe he doesn't have 7 years of apoplectic, hysterical media coverage. Democrats aren't obsessed over DeSantis the way they are with Trump, but that's another story. If they indict him, if they're desperate to try to remove Trump from 24, an indicted Trump would probably win a primary also. And an indicted Trump would actually defeat Mashed Potato Brains Joe in polls as well. We're going into another recession in 24. Okay, we didn't have a recession under Trump, but you can say, well, yeah, we did because his last year was a self-induced wound. Democrats gleefully tanked their state economies because, the experts told them to do so. That wasn't Trump's policies. Okay? I love when people are disingenuous and duplicitous and they act like imbeciles by blaming Trump for what happened his last year in office. More people lost their lives under the first year of Biden. Again, everything's objectively worse under Biden's administration. The economy stinks. We had a very good economy in 2019. Record low in poverty. Poverty is up. We had a record low in poverty in 2019. Poverty is up now. And we have a foreign policy that's a catastrophe. Democrats think it's moral and just to just fund a proxy battle in Europe. And it's like, well, maybe there should be some emphasis on peace, a negotiated deal. You can't expect a smaller country, just because they're aligned with us, to go on indefinitely, no matter how many billions of dollars you spent. It just shows you that they only care about political power. People on the left look at themselves in the mirror and say, oh, I'm so moral. Not really, when you look at actually, it's the opposite of that. You're funding a proxy quagmire. Never ending, by the way. Don't do this, but if you ask the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat, when do you want that invading country to stop fighting? They'll say never. They don't care if it goes on forever. They just want victory. But you're having other people fight your battles. And that's a whole other story. We have a nuclear confrontation issue as well. Even Emmanuel Macron of France tried to prevent the hostilities from taking place. If the rebuttal is, well, there was an invasion. What were we supposed to do? Well, you had months and months to try to avert a humanitarian catastrophe. But anyway, that's foreign policy. Democrats are terrible at the foreign policy is terrible. Trump was an anti-interventionist. He negotiated deals, trade deals, and also peace deals. The Doha Agreement was completely botched by Biden. Again, you'd have to be a complete imbecile to say, well, Trump left it to Biden to bring Americans home. No, he didn't. What is he supposed to do? It was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. Okay? He lost, so therefore, the person who replaced him completely botched it. What is he supposed to do? Go into the future? Fly into the future? Take a time machine? It was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. Anyway, Trump's foreign policy, much better. Reversed, and this is why Cheney, even though she voted alongside Trump over 90% of the time, is so against Trump. Foreign policy is why I'm voting for Trump. I think that never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, quagmires, wars, military conflict is the worst thing for humanity and the number one issue that everyone should focus on. Democrats don't care. They care about redefining words. They care about judging and condemning. And they feel moral and morally superior. By the way, what's taking place, the atrocities taking place in the southern geographic region of our country, the border, more so than anything that happened under Trump. And some of the things that took place, one policy in particular I was against, and he reversed that policy. But you don't see AOC shedding any tears for what's taking place now because it's about politics. You think she really cares about what's taking place there? You think any Democrat really cares? If they did, they'd be focused on fixing what was taking place under their watch, but they don't care. They don't care. They only care about judging and condemning. The televangelists of the 80s became morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats of 2022, or, of the past 10 years. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. The Supreme Court has prevented any indictment or prosecution. There's a chance they indict Trump. It ain't going to work. I would find it very amusing. I don't want to say I would love to see that because I'd be upset, but I would find it amusing and not enjoyable. But if they indict Trump, he will defeat our current president in polls, even indicted. Okay, because we're going into another recession, and it could be a lot worse. And I think that it will be a lot worse. I have been predicting a major stock market crash. I told you crypto would tank. Unfortunately, I don't say that gleefully. But, you're looking Coinbase, Tether, Binance, they're going to go the way of FTX and Luna. Unfortunately. Bitcoin will get to way below 10,000. And I've been saying that since 2021. Go to the description section, you'll see. Go to the playlist on this channel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe. I'll be back for the live stream. I should have an earlier live stream today, like around 3 p.m. or so. So be here. Thanks, everybody.